to build day 47 at Casa TexPina. We're continuing on with our work from yesterday. We got guys putting up hollow block up above the lintel beams, getting up to the roof beam level. We've got guys putting rebar together for the support beams to support the attic floor. We've got guys putting up beams, putting up forms on beams for the lintel beams in the guest room areas. That part of the house is the last section to have the lintel beams put in place. That is primarily the focus for today's schedule of events is to get the rest of the lintel beams all poured so that they can continue blocking the rest of the way up to the roof beam all the way around. In the interim, at the same time I should say, they're getting the support beams up so that we can get those blocked in, get those formed up and ready to pour for concrete. And next week's focus is going to be trying to get the attic floor slab put into place. So that's going to be all the support joists going across, all the support beams going across the great room and kitchen area, and then getting those formed and poured hopefully by end of week next week. So today is again lots of beams, rebar beams, and hollow block. So let's get started. Wanted to throw in a quick note. If you've noticed over the last probably about a week, we haven't had any of those annoying popping noises on the video. I did get in a new cable. However, I ordered the wrong cable, so it's not the cable that was wrong or that was causing the issue like I thought it was. The problem was that in the settings on the GoPro, I have an external mic hooked up on this GoPro, so the way I had it set up was standard mic plus, which means it adds an additional 20 decibels to the video feed coming. Oh, sorry, the audio feed coming in. Problem was, I guess it was a little too much noise out here, especially in windy conditions. So it didn't know how to process it. So instead, it would just give that really loud spiking pop. So we got rid of that. I changed the setting to just standard mic, and using the same cable, same setup, everything is working perfectly so far this week. Knock on wood. So hopefully everything keeps going good the rest of the time. I believe I've ferreted out that little ghost in the machine, so we'll see how it goes. Got a couple guys found some shade to build their forms in. Mr. Manny and Mr. Orley up on top, still erecting forms. I'm sorry, erecting support beams for the attic floor. Mr. Oliver pulling off forms from yesterday's concrete pour. Mr. Marlin staying busy making the forms for our bay window. And Mr. Ben up on top making forms for the lintel beams in bedroom 2. Mr. Justin and Mr. Jericho are doing hollow blocks above the lintel beam, getting up to the roof beam for the office and the dining room. Mr. June and Mr. Pablo are taking fill material into the inside of the house. They had been working over here in the master suite. Mr. Alex is on top of the large beams that we poured yesterday for the over the picture windows, and he's getting ready to start doing the additional hollow blocks above to get to the roof beam as well. Mr. Manny and Mr. Orley, as I mentioned before. Mr. J is bringing Mr. Alex his materials, should be mortar. We got Mr. Marvin and Mr. Alex building the forms for the hallway half bath. And that's pretty much a wrap of everybody on the site. They are starting to put the forms together. This is what Mr. Jojo and Wilson are building. That's the first two I showed you on this clip. They're building for this column in the great room, as well as this one over here. So we're going to get those up to height sometime this week. Oh, not this week, next week. And then Mr. Edmund is starting to prep lunch. What you cooking? Namaluto. Garlic rice. Yum. Look around just before lunch. This is the big beams that were poured yesterday afternoon. All the concrete looks really good. They've already done a little bit of chipping that they normally do on the concrete to get it ready for finishing at a later point. And Mr. Alex and Mr. J here have already been constructing the additional hollow block on top to support the roof beams. Here inside this area, I believe it's going to help also where they're going to put another beam for the floor joists that are going to go across here. Okay, so the foreman has been working on this most of the morning. Just a quick visual of what the bay window should look like. We've got the base of it already formed out. Again, this is just the visual. The carpenters will come back and fix this before making it final. They've also got, not sure how clear this is going to come out. In here we've got, okay, so on this bay window, the side is going to be closed off. These are going to be closed. We'll have a window here, closed, window, and this will be inside of the bedroom number 2's walk-in closet. And then there'll be a wall that's going to separate bedroom 2's lavatory from their walk-in closet. So this area will be closed, and then here will be another window, closed and closed on the side. So again, it's just a decorative way of doing the window, and this will go up to the same height as the rest of the windows, up to the roof beam. Oh, sorry, to the lintel beam. At some point they will come back in later, and underneath here will be just decorative, a couple decorative supports. The concrete with all of the rebar in here should be more than sufficient to hold the window in place. All right, so continuing on, they're still behind them and here in bedroom 2, pulling the forms off from yesterday's pour and continuing with forming up the remaining lintel beams for bedroom 2, going into the Jack and Jill and working their way over. All of the ones for bedroom 3, most of the ones for bedroom 3 have already been accomplished, and they're still going to work on those. Justin and Jericho up here working the getting reset for continuing the hollow block above the lintel beam up to the roof beam. This is for bedroom 3. Mr. Manny and Mr. Orley are pulling out the measurements that are going to be required for the beams that are going to go across for the floor above the great room and kitchen area to support the attic floor. Remember, this is going to be all a large concrete slab floor above, so they're making sure that they've got plenty of steel support with the rebars, and when they go to form it up for the concrete as well. Okay, post lunch walk around. Still working with a little bit of mortar in the hallway half bath. They're still building the forms around the beams at the top. Mr. Alex is working the hollow block above the beams. Mr. Wilson and Mr. Jojo are working the forms for the column, the 2 decorative columns in the hallway or in the great room. Up here on top in the kitchen, Mr. Orland and Mr. Manny are fabricating the ceiling beam, or the beams, the support beams. On the other side of them here, you see Mr. Jericho is still working with Mr. Rafi, still working the hollow block above the lintel beam as well. This is for the walk-in closet for bedroom 3. Go take a walk through this direction. Back into the hallway, coming down to guest room number 2. Mr. Justin and Mr. Ben are still working in here. Mr. Justin's working on hollow block up to the roof beam. Mr. Ben is working forms for the Jack and Jill bath. Mr. Alex and Mr. Marvin are still working theirs. Pablo and Mr. Marlin are working on the bay window. Mr. Oliver is cutting forms down to size. All right. Everybody is gamefully employed. It looks like they're mixing a batch of concrete. Another batch of concrete. Looks like we got 1 or 2 down here in the hopper ready to go. They should be pouring some lintel beams and one of the columns in the living room. Let's go take a look, see what's ready to be poured. We got one gentleman up here in the middle. Mr. Jojo is ready to have concrete in this column, and I believe some of the these beams here are ready to get poured. Yes, the one in the master hallway, the hallway half bath is ready. And the areas around the inside of bedroom number 2 are ready for concrete as well. So they'll be pouring those this afternoon. We'll show you the finished product afterwards. So the first thing getting poured is the base of the bay window. So they've got the beam on the side going this way, and then they've got support coming out vertically, horizontally as well. Take you a look. So we've got support down the inside, and then lots of extra rebar here to support the actual bay window. And then they've already got the vertical bars showing where each of the windows are going to be. So we've got hollow block on the sides. Here in the front is going to be a window. Hollow block, window, hollow block, window, hollow block, window. Oh, sorry, window. All hollow block on the end. And just like that, it's all done. Bottom of the bay window is poured. Whatever imperfections are here will be covered with tile adhesive and tiles upon completion when they get to the finishing stages. So the next step after this dries will be most likely tomorrow. They'll pull these forms off and start erecting the hollow block in the spaces that are provided for it. So all along this side up to here, leave this open for a window, hollow block, window directly in line with the wall. There will be a hollow block wall come this way, hollow block here, large window, and hollow block down this side, and hook back into the wall over here for the interlock. Again, this is the lavatory for bedroom 2 and the walk-in closet for bedroom 2. All right, one more pour going on. The hallway half bath. Lintel beam across the top is getting poured. Sorry, not a place to show you from up above, so from underneath is what we get. All right, last pour of the day. We're doing one of the columns in the living room. Knock on wood, no blowouts today. We've had a good luck all day long. The hope is that they should be able to take most of these pieces off of this column after it's cured tomorrow, on Monday, and transfer it to that column right here and do the same thing on Monday. Hopefully. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna get out of these guys' way and let them continue pouring concrete. All right, you guys are cleaning up, getting ready to go home. It's yabba dabba do time at the end of the week. So we're looking at lots of work being done this week. We had a lot of progress. If you remember at the beginning of the week, the goal was to get all of the lintel beams completed. We've gotten probably about 95% of those completed. So we're still working on some of those, but we've actually had big progress. This beam here is up. This is our biggest beam in the house so far. They do have some more that are going to go up that are a little bit larger. So we've got beams that are going up here that are all going to support all this up here. That's going to support the attic floor space. So that's going to have a big slab of concrete that's going to support that. Pardon me. We got one of the columns poured for the living room. This one here is going to be worked on for Monday. We've gotten more hollow block all the way across the top, getting ready to go for the roof beam, as well as some here in the front for the office the dining room, part of bedroom 3, and as they continue doing the lintel beams, once they come in on Monday, those lintel beams down the hall for the hallway bath and the bedroom 2 will have the same treatment, getting up another 3 to 4 courses. Actually, the hallway bath, I believe, is going to go up another 4 courses because it's got to match the same level as the attic floor space does, because there is another CR, as they call it here, a comfort room or a restroom up in the attic space. It's a half bath as well, so it'll duplicate exactly what's underneath, be duplicated directly above for that. So tomorrow, or Monday actually, more concrete and more work going on here at Casa TexPina. So this is the end of build day number 47, also the end of week number 8. So if you're counting by weeks, you would say the end of the 2nd month, but actually the 14th is when we started, so next week will be the end of the 2nd month. All right, so until then, if you like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star in the bottom right hand corner and you'll be subscribed. If you'd like to know when our next video has been uploaded for your viewing pleasure, hit the bell icon just below the view screen and you'll be notified. Until then, have a great afternoon and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.